Hi Panther fans, this is Lucas from Rats and Eyes blog and YouTube channel. This is my review of the month of November for the Florida Panthers, and again it was just about pretty much the same exact thing as October. Got a couple more wins as the Cats ended up at 4, 8, and 3 for the month. It started off as it continued, and this in October, as they lost their first several games. They lost to St. Louis 4-1. Then the next night lost in the shootout to the Washington Capitals 3-2. They were down in that game 2-0 to come back to tie it. Then a game they should have won at home against one of the league's worst teams, the Edmonton Oilers. They failed to beat them. They came back again to tie that though late, but lost it in overtime again. So they head off on the road for 3 games, hoping to get some wins. But then, yet again, they don't, as they get beaten by the Boston Bruins 4-1 in Boston. That next night, though, Kevin Dineen ends up getting fired from the Panthers as Peter Horachuk takes over the reins as interim head coach. First game as coach, he is against the Ottawa Senators, and again the same results with Dineen. They lose. There was a little bit more fire in that game by Florida. Next game they played was against the Rangers. Again, a little bit more fire. But again, not good enough, as they lost that one 4-3. So they had now a 9-game winless streak, heading home for their 1 game on home before heading out for a West Coast swing of 5 games. They fall behind 2-0 to Anaheim, but then end up coming back to win it 3-2, ending their 9-game losing streak. Which is phenomenally great. Also, during this span, Christopher Stieg got traded. I thought it was a good trade. I did make a video on that. He just wasn't there. He wasn't applying himself like he should have. And he had to go. As Florida ended up getting Jimmy Hayes and Dylan Olsen in the trade. And so far, Olsen's played good in the few games he's played. Jimmy Hayes has played really well for us. So I think in the end, definitely has been a great trade for the Florida Panthers. We will see more down the road, though. So after their win against Anaheim, they head on a West Coast trip against the Wild, the St. Louis. So it wasn't looking good. Again, a team they should have beaten. Team was a little bit not elite, but they lose. So they head into Colorado, face off against the Avalanche. Absolutely a huge improvement for the Avalanche this year. And Florida actually ends up winning this one 4-1 as they just shock the Avalanche. Then they head to Vancouver, a team they haven't beaten in their home arena since '94. They come out with a win in the shootout against Vancouver. So again, things were really looking up. It's like you beat 2 top-tier teams. You think this thing's going to turn around. They could have a 500 record. They're playing Edmonton and Calgary next. But again, they are dropped back down to earth as they lose the Oilers 4-1, and then the next night they lose to Calgary in the shootout 4-3, as they were behind in that Calgary game, but ended up coming back tied. So a very disappointing road trip, even though they did beat 2 clubs that they shouldn't have beaten. They beat, but then 3 clubs they should have beaten, they didn't. So head home for a nice road homestand. Start things off right as they beat the Philadelphia Flyers, but then end up the homestand the last 2 games of November with losses against the Rangers and the wow, I cannot think. Pittsburgh Penguins. There we go, guys. So, for the month, Florida's through the month of November, overall with October and November, is their fourth worst start in franchise history at 7-15-0-5. So the team's not looking horribly bad, but they are not as great as they could be. Again, a couple games they could have won this month. They should have won. They didn't. If they had won those, they'd be about middle of the pack where they usually start off the months. But one thing that does worry me though is that they have a franchise record 15 losses through November. That is a franchise record. Even though they don't have the worst overall points for them, they do have the worst losses for them. And this month is definitely not going to get any easier, as they will face off against Ottawa 2 times, including tonight, Detroit 3 times. That is going to be tough. They have always had trouble against Detroit, especially in Detroit. And then they play the Canadiens twice as well. So these are going to be very, very tough games for Florida. It'll be a very tough month. They play Tampa Bay also. They also play Toronto. They play the Rangers on New Year's Day. They play the Jets. They play the Capitals. They play the Jets twice, actually. They also play the Blackhawks. So it's just, this month is going to be a tough month. It's going to test the Florida Panthers, indeed. If there is any good news to this at all for Florida, is that the last sub-500 month of December that they had was back in December of 2000-2001. So they have a chance to try and improve this month. History is definitely on their side with that. So on that note, I will be closing this video out for today. Please read my blog. I have a blog. I update it daily. It's great. Please like the video, comment, subscribe. Please, I tried to update this every day. I didn't do it for the last 2 games due to work. I just didn't have time. Really appreciate the comments. Again, I really appreciate it. I am losing my voice right now. So it's just a sign that I gotta shut up and close this video out. So I will see you guys after the Ottawa game.